Welcome to today's video on one of the central questions in metaethics. Is morality objective, subjective, or perhaps not real at all? When we make moral claims like murder is wrong or kindness is good, we usually talk as if we're stating facts. But philosophers have long asked whether moral statements really work that way. Are they objective truths independent of us? Or are they subjective judgments that depend on human perspectives? Or, more radically, are there no moral truths at all? The big question. Let's start by framing the issue. When I say murder is wrong, is that the same kind of claim as the earth orbits the sun? Is morality discovered like a fact about the world, or is it created by humans through feelings and culture? This is the central question of metaethics. How we answer it shapes everything else in ethics because it determines whether morality is universal, relative, or non-existent. Moral objectivity. One answer is that morality is objective. On this view, moral truths exist independently of what anyone thinks or feels. Plato described moral truths as eternal forms, such as justice and goodness, that exist beyond human opinion. To call something good was for Plato to say that it participates in an unchanging reality. Centuries later, Immanuel Kant defended objectivity in a very different way. For Kant, morality does not rest on feelings or traditions, but on reason itself. His famous categorical imperative requires that we act only on rules that we could will for everyone, everywhere. In both Plato and Kant, morality is grounded in something larger than us. Eternal truth for Plato, rational law for Kant. Moral subjectivity. Other philosophers argue the opposite, that morality is subjective. David Hume believed that morality arises not from reason, but from sentiment. When we call something wrong, we're not describing an objective fact, we're expressing a feeling of disapproval. When we call something good, we're expressing approval. In his Treatise of Human Nature, Hume insisted that reason is and ought only to be the slave of the passions. Friedrich Nietzsche pushed subjectivity further. He saw morality not as timeless truth, but as a human invention shaped by history and power. And On the Genealogy of Morality and the Joyful Science, Nietzsche traced how values such as humility and self-denial grew out of specific cultural circumstances rather than eternal standards. If Hume saw morality as rooted in sentiment, Nietzsche considered it as a historical construction. Relativism. A specific version of subjectivity is relativism. Relativists argue that morality varies from culture to culture and that no one culture's code is better than another. The ancient historian Herodotus recorded a story in which King Darius asks Greeks what it would take for them to eat their dead. They were horrified. He asked Colossians what it would take for them to burn their dead, and they were horrified. Herodotus concluded custom is king of all. In the 20th century, anthropologist Ruth Benedict made a similar point. In Anthropology and the Abnormal, she argued that what counts as normal or abnormal is entirely defined by cultural standards. On this view, morality is always local, and judging one culture by another's standards is a mistake. Moral nihilism. Still more radical is the position of moral nihilism. Nihilists argue that there are no moral truths at all. The philosopher J.L. Mackie made this case in Ethics Inventing Right and Wrong, where he declared that there are no objective values. Mackie argued that whenever we make moral claims, we speak as though values exist, but in reality, they do not. So every moral statement is, strictly speaking, in error. Nietzsche, too, raised the specter of nihilism when he argued that without God or eternal truths, morality has no secure foundation. For the nihilist, morality is not objective, or subjective, or relative. It is simply an illusion. Case study applications. These theories may sound abstract, but they become clearer when we test them against examples. Take the case of arranged marriage. An objectivist might argue that arranged marriage is wrong if it violates universal human dignity. A relativist would say the practice is acceptable within a culture that values it. A nihilist would deny that there is any moral truth to the matter at all. Or consider the politician's lie. An objectivist insists that lying is always wrong no matter the cost. A subjectivist might say the answer depends on people's feelings about loyalty and honesty. A relativist would look to cultural expectations. Finally, think about the case of morality without foundations. Imagine a community that loses faith in religion. Without belief in God, they wonder whether morality still has meaning. For the objectivist, morality can remain grounded in reason or universal principles. For the relativist or the subjectivist, morality shifts with human needs. For the nihilist, morality collapses entirely. Conclusion. The question of whether morality is objective or subjective is foundational to metaethics. If morality is objective, then ethics is about discovering universal truths. If it is subjective, morality reflects human sentiments, cultures, and histories. And if nihilism is correct, then morality itself is an illusion. As Paul Kleinman explains in Philosophy 101, asking this question is the first step in philosophy's study of ethics. Before we can argue about what is right or wrong, we must first decide, is morality real, or is it only a reflection of us? Alright, y'all, that's all for now. If you're interested in more videos about metaethics, philosophy, and ethics, take a look at the videos posted on our channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.